Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be explaining why I sold my GH5 when recently I had all three flagships from the Micro Four Thirds from Panasonic. The GH5, the GH5S, and also the G9. The reason why is because I wanted the best of both worlds for both videos and stills. And since the GH5 is the best hybrid camera, it is the best of both worlds. However, it's not the best for both videos and for the stills compared to the other two cameras that I have. The GH5S has better low light capabilities, has less crop factor than the GH5, and is also able to have 240 frames per second compared to just 180 frames per second. And also the GH5S has a multi-aspect radio compared to the GH5. So it uses more of the width in any type of aspect that you use the GH5S with. The GH5S, however, doesn't have IBIS, but it is completely usable for me because I recently purchased the Webuild S, which is going to be complementing the GH5S for video shooting. And if I were to keep the GH5 and use the Webuild S, it would have more rolling shutter compared to the GH5S. And since the megapixels from the GH5S is less at 10.2 megapixels instead of 20.3 megapixels like the GH5, it's able to gather more light, so it has it needs less gain to bump up the exposure, and it also has dual native ISO, which the GH5 is lacking. And yeah, as I mentioned, it uses less crop factor compared to the GH5. It's 1.8. So if I put the GH5S side by side with the GH5 and use the same lens, I'll tend to have better bokeh quality if the subject is going to be framed identically between the two cameras. And also the GH5 has 20.3 megapixels like the G9. However, the G9 has more photography capabilities compared to the GH5. Like the 80 megapixels, there's also some creative photography things that the G9 can use. And ever since the recent firmware upgrade from the G9, it is more capable for videos like the GH5 has right now. The G9 can also use Vlog like the GH5, and it has a better IBIS compared to the GH5. It has 6.5 stops of IBIS compared to I think 5 or 5.5 stops from the GH5, so it is more stable. And also it has a better processor compared to the GH5. The same thing with the GH5S. So both the GH5S and the G9 have an updated updated processor for the Venus engine that they use. So comparing it to the GH5, if you ever look at the pulsing in the background, it tends to pulse more compared to the G9 and the GH5S. And I would tend to have my my hand on the camera, the G9 compared to the GH5. At least 99% of the time, the GH5 would be inside my camera bag, and I would only use maybe 1 or 2 times with a camera because it already has a lens that I might need for a certain situation. So that's the only time when I would take out the GH5, but otherwise, with all my other lenses, I would tend to use the G9 with it. And also the ergonomics for the G9 is more suited for photography and everyday usage compared to the GH5. So considering the fact that the GH5S has the best qualities for video for the Micro Four Thirds, and also the G9 with its latest firmware update is more capable of as a hybrid camera, more suited for photography, I decided to sell the GH5 and instead purchase the Sigma 18 to 35. I don't have it with me right now. I think it's in the other room. But Luckily for me, because I sold the GH5, I was able to get the Sigma 18-35 with a Metabone speed booster so that it can complement the GH5S for video shooting with the Weebill S. So I'm looking forward to using that setup pretty soon. Alright, so that explains the reason why I decided to sell the GH5. So if you want to see more contents like this, please subscribe to my channel and also click the like button. Thank you.